Hello everyone. Now we are going to see sim performance, strength and flexibility is another type of sim performance. Strength is determined by resistance to pulling force and abrasion, and sim performance flexibility affects the droppability, comfort, and abrasion resistance of the apparel. Based on sim performance, especially in strings, maybe the garment is working close. First, check the sim performance. Is it strong or not? Because there is more forces in the working area, so determined by resistance to pulling force and abrasion. Flexibility, maybe the fabric droppability, comfort, and abrasion resistance should be checked about this sim performance. Sim quality. Sim quality characteristics of this sim quality, especially based on strength, elasticity, durability, stability, and appearance are sim quality, which can be dependent upon the type of seam, stitch per unit length or stitch per inch, the thread tension, and the seam efficiency of the fabric is dependent upon the seam quality. Seam quality especially focus on the performance and appearance of seam from important component of quality of the finished product. Most of the time, the seam should be checked, or seam quality should be checked based on the seam performance and seam appearance. This seam performance and appearance is a quality for the finished product. The quality and performance of sewing garment depend on various factors such as seam length, seam slippage, seam grain, seam puckering, and seam appearance, and also yarn surface are a quality which can be depend upon the various quality performance. Seam performance largely depend upon the interrelationship between fabric structural properties, sewing thread, sewing process, and condition. This seam performance it can be depend upon interrelationship between fabric structural properties, sewing thread, sewing process conditions, and number of washes the garment will receive. Different stitch threads will show different result on seam standard and seam performance. Different stitch types or stitch threads should show different result on seam standard and seam performance. Type of fabric and their structural properties have significant effect on seam strength, seam efficiency, seam elongation, and seam puckering. The seam quality expectation for various apparel will be different. Compatibility of the seam for functional and aesthetic requirement is very important for serviceability and life of the apparel. The serviceability of apparel can be increased by selecting the suitable type of fabric, thread, and seam. Serviceability of apparel can be increased by selecting of suitable fabric, thread, and seam. Selection of type thread, fabric, and seam are basic element in garment durability. Garment durability should be considered or should be depend upon a garment durability should be depend upon thread type, fabric type, and seam type, especially for the fashionable garment in terms of cost and quality. This durability in a fashion garment, it can be depend upon their costs and qualities. Seam quality is subjected to seam strength, strength efficiency, puckering, slippage, bloodiness, and appearance. Also, it is a seam quality. The strength and appearance of seam marks both functional and aesthetic performance of any finished apparel product. Both are considered as an important factor for durability of garments, especially functional and aesthetic performance of this seam is it can be considered for the important factor for durability of the garments. How to check if seams are well made or a visual guide when you want to, or the quality control should want to check this seam quality. There is some guides in visual guides. High quality seams are sewn neatly. Check the seam or the seam is neat or not. The seam are reinforced in areas of high tension. Check for well-made seam using the light test. And high quality seam should sit flat on the fabric. This high quality seam should sit flat on the fabric. That means it is flat. It is comfort to the wearer. So these are guides or visual guides to check the seam qualities. Though the stitch types or the seam types chosen for a seam depend on the function or aesthetic. Requirement of the seam quality can be measured based on the following parameters. Seam size. Seam size, it is measured with seam depth, seam length, and seam width. This is the parameters which can be measured from seam quality. Seam size is the one factor which is measures seam quality. And seam slippage, strength of the seam. It is the amount of force required to pull out the total number of 1/4 of the opposite sets of yarns perpendicular to the seam line. Seam strength, it is the force required to break open the seam either by breaking the thread or by breaking the sewing material. A seam finish, it is applied to or used on the unfinished seam edge to prevent raveling and crooning or rolling. A standard of seam, a well-constructed seam should be smooth and even appearance on the inside and outside. This is a standard of good quality seam, well constructed and smooth, and even in the appearance, the outside and inside of the garment. So even the width throughout. Then press open or close seam according to the type of seam and how is it used in construction process. There is the two types of seam, open seam and closed seam. So the standard is that this closed and open seam which can be a type of seam. So a closed seam is a flat-filled seam, French seam, and flat-filled seam. So a good example for closed seam. Open seam, plain or superimposed seam is open seam. These seam types should be pressed when finishing your stitch. If stitch is threaded, thread should be appropriate to the fabric type and the fiber content, and color should match or be slightly darker than that of the fabric. The sewer should be select the thread also appropriate to that of the fabric, its type, fiber content, and color. The color should match with that of the fabric. The thread color should be matched with the fabric. Maybe, if it is possible, the sewer should use slightly darker than that of the fabric color. A well-constructed seam finish should be neat and smooth in appearance without adding bulk. A neat finish garment already smooth in its appearance and without any added bulky. This is a knitted or knit seam, and also protects the area and prevents the edge from raveling. A neat or well-constructed seam should stretch, rolling or curling, and not be visible from the right side of the garment. Any seam finish should not be visible in the right side of the garment. Seam may be created with thread by hand or by machine, or sewing machine or singer, or with fusing through the chemical bonding. Sometimes, if the based on the fabric type, when the sewer or the operator should want us to finish or to seam the fabric by using fusing or chemical bonding, not only sewing by machine or by hand, but it is possible to bond with chemical fusing. When singer or overlock machine is used to construct a seam, the fabric edge are finished all in one process. The basic seam are like a plain seam, French seam, and flat filled seam, unless otherwise stated that seam is stitched 5/8 inch in from the cut edge or 1.5 centimeter. This is standard 5/8 or inch or 1.5 centimeter from the cut edge. The fabric from the stitching line to the cut edge is called seam allowance. The seam allowance means it is the line which is found between the stitching line and the cutting line. Factors when selecting seam and seam finish. Fabric, it is the one factor which can be selected, seam and seam finish. First of all, check the fabric property and characteristics. It is tightly or loosely woven. Check, is the fabric tightly or loosely woven? Is it a single knit or double knit? Or does the fabric ravel, crewel, or roll? First, the sewer should be checked these important factors. What is the weight of the fabric? Lightweight, medium weight, heavy weight? Is it sheer or not? Check these factors. Use of garment. Is it spot wear, even wear, or occasional wear? How often will to be worn? Care of garment. Will it be machine washed, hand washed, dry, clean wash? Check these important factors first. Location of seam, seam finish. It is curved or straight. When selecting of seam, you should have to consider this important point: location of seam and seam finish. Is it curved or straight? Will it be exposed as in an unlined skirt or lined skirt? Will it be enclosed or in collar seam? Sewability and skill. Are you a novice or an experienced sewer? Is the sewer is experienced or a beginner? Check it first, this one. Equipment. Do you have only straight line stitch sewing machine, or do you have another advanced sewing machine? This one is another type of factor. Do you have a singer or overlock machine? Quality of seam product is only as good as the quality of seam. There are few standard indicators to determine seam quality, like seam stability, seam abrasion resistance, seam elasticity, and look are some few standards which can be indicator or which can be determine the quality of the seam. Seam stability, seam breaking strength describes the resistance of seam to tensile stress on the seam in a crosswise direction. If the seam breaking strength is insufficient, the seam will tear during the later use. Maybe the seam breaks strength is insufficient, this seam will tear during the later use. The seam slippage relates to the tendency of the warp and the weft thread in fabric to shift in crosswise direction to a seam under tensile forces. This is a fabric-related issue. The seam slippage, which can be the tendency of the warp and the weft. Warp and weft as a process of a fabric. This warp and weft is in the spinning room. There is a tendency to check this warp and weft threads. So this direction or across and crosswise and vertical wise direction of this fabric. So this slippage related to the fabric issue. A low seam shifting resistance leads to open seam and possibly even broken seams. Many fashion fabric shows this problem, especially many fashion fabrics show this problem because of based on the fabric related issue. So fashion fabrics are lightweight and they are shiny and they are aesthetic value. So this problem should be occurred in these fashion fabrics. Unfavorable seam slippage can be improved only marginally by changing the sewing condition. For example, through additional top stitch seams as the relevant seams or the use of lap seam. Maybe this seam slippage can be occur better to improve this problem by adding top stitch seam or the use of lap seam or flat filled seam should be better to use or to finish or to use this type of seam. The used sewing thread is the primary factor for the possible seam breaking strengths of seam. It rows material, strengths, and construction, especially sewing thread. Used sewing thread as it is also the cause of seam breaking or seam strength breaking. So this is based on the raw material strength and construction of the thread. Cotton or polyester, fiber thread or multi-filament construction, coarse or fine counts, the possible stability of the different thread varies extremely. When choosing the sewing parameter, the stitch density, the stitch type, and the thread balance in the seam have a great influence on the seam breaking strength. These parameters, stitch density, stitch type, thread balance, these are a great influence for the seam breaking strength. Seam abrasion resistance. Abrasion resistance is the ability of material to withstand wear and tear from continuous rubbing or friction. A critical quality in textile that determines how long apparel, furnishing, and industrial textiles can resist surface wear. High abrasion resistance is often associated with fabric that can endure though conditioned without losing integrity or appearance. The seam abrasion resistance characterizes the thread's resistance to abrasion stress in the seam. Seams are often exposed to create abrasion stress in buttonholes, exposed ornamental seam on stone wash jeans, or cover seam on pitching pants are under great stress. These garment types are or they have under great stress, so they have a great abrasion stress. Quite frequently, they show sign of wear after short use periods only, with frayed seam pattern or totally torn seams. The seam abrasion resistance is determined by the fabric, the seam construction, and the sewing type. This seam abrasion resistance should be determined by the fabric type or seam construction and swing thread type. The characteristics of the fabric is decisive for how flat or prominent a seam is, thus having more and more exposure to the abrasion stress. Maybe the characteristics of the fabric is decisive for how the fabric is flat or prominent a seam. This have more and more exposure to the abrasion of the stress. Flacy and voluminous fabric protects the sewing thread from rubbing. Hard and glossy fabric expose the seam more and thus increase the abrasion stress. Accordingly, the seam construction or seam and stitch type influence the abrasion resistance, like lapped seam for joining two material place cause more intense abrasion stress for the needed thread than inside position safety stitch seams. Partly, it helps to use an additional nonwoven interlining to reinforce the fabric in the area of the seam, an emergency solution which is very time and cost consuming. By the way, if there is this seam slippage or the seam is not strong, better to use nonwoven interlining, which is used to reinforcing the fabric, more strings of the fabric. This is emergency solution to avoid this seam problem. The seam breaking strength is determined by the fabric, the sewing thread, and the sewing parameters. The basic level of seam stability is firstly determined by the fabric tensile strength, that means in warp, weft, and diagonal directions. These are fabric construction method. So this is determined by seam stability. The warp and the weft and diagonal direction of or construction of fabric, it can be determined by or seam stability can be determined by this warp, weft, and diagonal direction of the fabric. Factors affecting seam abrasion resistance. Abrasion resistance of a seam varies depend on some factors which are pointed as below. The first one is type of thread, stitch balance, seam tightness, fabric type are factors which can be affected seam abrasion. Type of threads, it has been clearly established that synthetic threads are far superior to natural thread in terms of abrasion resistance. But it is not clear whereas there is result would be applied in the case of seams. So when you are comparing the two, the natural thread and synthetic thread, better to select the synthetic thread because it can be resist for abrasion resistance. It has a high abrasion resistance. The second one is stitch balance. Normally, in a two-thread chain stitch seam or type 401, the ratio of the needle thread to the looper thread is 1 to 1.7 ratio. So this is a normal balancing ratio. If this ratio is reduced by increasing the length of feed of the needle, then the abrasion resistance of the chain side is improved. But if the needle thread length increase more than the looper thread, then the abrasion resistance performance fell rapidly. So better to balance the chain stitch and the looper stitch or the needle thread to manage the balance of the stitch. Garments likely to be exposed the abrasive element bring wear, especially the garments can be exposed with abrasive element or abrasive resistance during the time of wearing, especially work clothes. More abrasion is can be occurred in that area because of it is working area. So better to select appropriate fabric, appropriate thread, and appropriate seam. Thank you for watching this video.